Good day, and here we are with the commentary for my very first video. Now you gotta get into the kind of the mindset that I had back in 2009. I started doing videos for a wide variety of reasons, but the main idea was that, you know, you got Spoony, you got Linkaria, you got the Nostalgia Critic, and you got the AVG, and they're all reviewing really bad games. And as I started to, you know, get more and more into interwebs, I came kind of late, unfortunately. The more I realized there was so much stuff. Oh, there he is, 2009. I got my hair helmet. Thankfully, I got a haircut after that. Still got that blue shirt. There's nothing in the background. I built that game stand in the back out of wood and painted it black. I think it was probably before this video. Oh yeah, there's that MP4. You know where that copy of that MP4 came from? That was actually from my PSP because I didn't feel like ripping the DVD, so I was like, okay, just copy it over. Because I think I had a jailbroken PSP. Don't remember though, because it's long since been broken and long since been in a box. Let's face it, when stuff breaks, boxed. But anyway, you know, you got the AVG and you got all these guys that are reviewing bad games. There's more as I got into the interwebs more and more. I started learning about different things like MAME and, you know, the stuff and things like that. I was like, why didn't anybody tell me that MAME existed? Because, like, you don't see any of these mainstream, you know, video reviewers ever talk about MAME. And it's like, what? When did this exist? You know? And then I discovered Aliens. Once again, nobody talked about it. No, there's no reviews of this, at least before me. Oh, God, there was the old desk setup. But we'll get to that in a minute. Nobody talked about this shit but me. You know, and of course I'm not popular, I'm not a big name anybody, but I'm still, see, that's the interesting thing, I may not be a big name anybody, I may not be popular or anything, but at the same time, at least I'm talking about this shit. At least if you wanted to look up Aliens the arcade game, or you're just browsing on YouTube and you find this video, now you know it exists, you know? Nobody else talked about this, nobody else did any of that, and so my whole ethos, I guess you could say, of doing reviews is I want to talk about some stuff that nobody ever talks about. I want to review good things that nobody ever talks about, you know? Nobody really talks about Alien or Aliens. They'll say, like, oh, it's a great movie, or oh, it's this. I want to get into the stuff that I actually, you know, enjoyed back in the day. And, you know, Aliens was my first game review literally because I just found it whilst I was going through my MAME ROMs. I was like, Aliens? The arcade game? What? What is all this insanity? And I started playing it, it's like, why the fuck nobody ever talked about this? Like, I didn't get mad, but it was like, why did no one ever talk about it? I would love to have played this game, you know? And that's the big thing. Nobody talks about these things. Nobody reviews this stuff. Hey, there's Lord Petty. That's a cringing thing, isn't it? But you know what? It fits. She kind of looks like it. Why the fuck does she have blonde hair? At least she isn't dipped in Tang like an alien on the Aliens on the MSX. But it's like, that's the whole reason why I do these reviews. You know, is I kind of want to, I want to entertain, but I also want to inform as well. I want you guys to know about some of this stuff, because not everybody's gonna know every game. You're not gonna know that Aliens on the arcade ever existed unless you saw it back in the day. And so that's really what I'm here to do. I'm here to tell everybody about this kind of stuff because I just want to, you know? I don't want it to be as hard to find this stuff as it was for me. You know? Oh yeah, look at that. Look how that's not scaled to frame size. But then again, I couldn't scale to frame size because this is Corel ULEAD Video Studio 11. Of course, I've tried to keep that up as time has gone on, you know, reviewing the stuff that nobody talks about, you know. Because it's so much easier to have somebody have a nice, well thought out review of this stuff. Also, why the fuck do these zombies have Lewis guns? It's like, seriously. I guess it should be easy enough to manufacture, but it's like, Spoony does a good job of talking about shit that nobody talks about. But it's always the bad stuff. It's like, I don't want to hear about bad stuff. I want to hear about good stuff. What stuff I want to enjoy. You know? There's Fire Shark. That would be reviewed like, holy shit, like 6 years later. Alright, so on to the review itself, moving past my ethos of reviewing. Well, oh yeah, look at that, I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was a frame cut on the bottom there. But this review was the very first one I've done. Used Fraps for this, and I used my then new HD camera that I spent a crap ton of money on. Oh yeah, here is an interesting thing that happened. You see this? You know why there's no sound on here? And why there's just random music clips in the background? Because the sound cut out whilst I was recording in Fraps. Don't ask me why that happened. It just did. And I didn't want to record through the whole game again. One of the things I do love about this review is how it actually looks good. And what I mean by that is, I mentioned this in another commentary about trying to crush this shit down to fit, you know, on YouTube. And this actually looks really good. This is Fraps and this is MAME. You know, and MAME and Fraps go well together. Although, I'll tell you this, back in the day, Fraps could not record MAME full screen. Don't ask me why. It didn't matter if you recorded half size. I'm not even sure if you can even record stuff half size anymore. I haven't really paid any attention to it. But if you record at half size, it works perfectly and doesn't look bad at all. Mainly because it's, well, an arcade game. But, you know, this is a great game. Very fun, graphics look great and all that. And I still was able to make fun of some certain things in it. I mean, look at all those, look at the Fraps counter. Top right. You suck, General Lutz. Kids, look, I can make fun of that. Look at that. I can make fun of the dick alien. Because that's what it is. H.R. Geiger was still alive at this point. It's like, yep, that's my design for the Xeno. It's got a dick on it. What's it shooting out? We don't want to know. Plasma cum. But, you know, this is actually the first review ever scripted. Everything else was just stream of consciousness. What's funny is I'm actually doing the stream of consciousness again, but I'm actually good at it now. But all this was fully scripted. You know, like, I rigidly adhere to that script. I did not go offline ever, you know. I could get to some really nitty-gritty details about how, like, this was not a review that had, like, really clear folders. It was all just dumped into one fucking folder. This was the computer that was used was assembled in 2008, and I think by this point I may have put in a new graphics card. I'm not sure. But I do know it did have the original hard drive in it of a grand total of, which at the time, or to me at least, also the sound cut out here as well, not sure why. At the time it had a, then huge to me, 250 gig hard drive. Like, holy shit, it's so big, you know? And so actually recording even an arcade game really filled it up. Ah, right here. This right here, see how the frames were all fucked up there? That was because I filled up the hard drive almost. And I threw some really crappy line of, I don't want to spoil it for you. Yeah, I didn't want to play through the whole game. That's what I really mean. What you guys would actually end up seeing later on is there is a Let's Play, and I think it is actually still on the channel, wherein I played through the whole game, I think with Tempedia, and we actually saw the ending, and the ending was pretty cool. I was actually pretty impressed with myself of actually getting these stills. This was actually, I actually did all that in ULEAD Video Studio. I really miss that particular program, you know? It's funny, I've got better tech than I could ever have imagined back then, and I still kind of miss that old stuff, you know? You know, it's like, sometimes you just look back on some of the stuff that you worked with that was primitive, but you were glad to work with it, you know? Because, like, you were happy just to have it, you know? There's the Lewis gun dude, but like, ULEAD kind of sucks compared to Adobe. In fact, I'd say it really does suck, because once again, it was super cheap. I'll talk more about ULEAD in another commentary, just because we're running out of time, but I like to think of it, because I was actually, also I was thinking about what I would say in this commentary. I don't know how to actually tie it into this, but like, I kind of want to say somehow, I worked with a stump. I built a house out of a stump. It's funny to say, like, I was able to do this review here. This review is really good. It's not that dissimilar from my future reviews. I mean, the gameplay footage looks good. I may repeat some footage, but, well, it's an arcade game, so there wasn't much to really do here. And overall, I sound good. Now, the microphone I'll also comment on later, but the microphone was just a simple Logitech headset mic. But you know what? You can still fucking hear me. You can still fucking understand me. There's so many reviews on the internet. Oh yeah, there's that fade. Oh man, that looks cool. Tech genius there. But I did pretty well. as this is technically the first real review, and I think it still holds up even to this day. Except for when I say the next review is going to be AVP, the arcade game, and I didn't review that until I think later in the year, or maybe it was even the next year, because I wanted my quality to get higher so I could do that game justice. Then, of course, I remember putting like annotations of like saying Fire Shark. That didn't get done until years later. The next one was just Jurassic Park, and that's mainly because, well, when we get to that commentary, I'll explain how and why that came about to be. But I do like how I was able to make this actually sound good, but I'm barely moving. Like, only my arms can move. And I'm very robotic, because I'm trying to not fuck up my lines. Because I don't want to record it again. That's why you notice there's barely any footage of me in the entire thing. Because I just do not want to do that. There's, or whatever makes you happy. Little did we know that would actually become a catchphrase. So, that was Aliens on the arcade game. Classic. Enjoyed making it. And I'll see you guys in the next commentary.